Can you believe it's been 6 weeks? I gotta do that right. Since we started the FBI, the Active Self-Protection FBI Qualification Challenge. It's starting to roll off my tongue a whole lot better. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming along. Get ready for this week's lesson, and we'll be right back.
The new Mantis X10 firearms performance system has all the goodness of the original, plus holster draw analysis and recoil analysis. It's a fantastic upgrade, and I recommend it highly.
Okay. So if you have followed along, you're at 2,200 to 2,400 trigger presses in the last 6 weeks. If you've just done the bare minimum, I know a lot of you are way beyond that. But think about this for just a second. The average person, the average gun owner in America probably doesn't pull the trigger 2,000 times in their life. I'll stand behind that. I'd say the average does not. So you're already above the average just from the practice that you've done. I know that we designed this course to be able to pass the FBI qualification, and that's really what we focused on. A lot of the things that we're doing is to help you go out and do this one drill and pass. But think of the benefits that you have gotten if you've done this in the rest of your shooting regimen or your shooting skills and abilities. You have drawn, I don't know how many hundreds of times. You have found your sights. You've reset your trigger. You've worked. You're gonna work on reloads. You've done some stuff that most people don't do. And I will guarantee you, if you did the bare minimum, you are better today, and you'll be better at the end of this week than you were 6 weeks ago. And that's really what this was all about, okay? A lot of fun trying to pass the FBI qual, and talk about that we talked about this at the beginning. There was a little bit of a debate on this, and the biggest part, the part that everybody agreed on, is that most people won't do the work. Some of you did the work, and I really appreciate it. Those of you that are just seeing this video for the first time, go back 6 weeks on Active Self-Protection Extra and do it yourself. It's a lot of fun. I feel like it works really well, and we've had a lot of fun doing it. So I appreciate everybody that got involved. I really appreciate Mantis for sponsoring this and helping us put this on. So with all that said, before you go to the range, get this week's practice done, and then you're gonna go to the range. When you go to the range, you're gonna need some gear, okay? First thing you're gonna need, I would say eyes and ears is important. Let's get the safety stuff. That's all required. They're not going to let you shoot unless you bring that stuff anyway, unless they have the nasty bucket-o ears that, when I forget mine that I have to borrow. You don't want that. Bring your own. Don't forget your gear, okay? Bring 100 rounds, because you actually get to do this twice if you want to. So each time you go through there, you're going to need at least 50 rounds. And you're going to need a target. We'll put a link in the description of this video to get you to the correct targets. And if you go to the Facebook page, there's a lot of people that have already posted some links there as well. So those are the kind of things you're going to need. The other stuff that you're going to need that sometimes people don't think about, you're going to need a timer. There's lots of different timers. There's this guy. Here's one that we used with the test group that's actually really cool. It's from Range Tech. I don't know if you can read that or not. It's got a little clip on here. This is a Bluetooth timer that hooks to your phone. So it's a little bit of a struggle using this in dry fire if you're using the Mantis, because now I've got two Bluetooth units trying to talk to the same phone. Some folks actually have an extra phone for this kind of stuff, or use an old phone, whatever. But where we use this with the test group is I could actually clip this. I clipped this on the collar of my buddy Dave, who stood in the middle of the three guys, and then I could just stand behind him and set the timer and set everything off, and the guys got to go. And there's good volume to that thing. It made sure that everybody stayed on the same page. So there's lots of different timers out there. This is the one that I use in my dry fire, just because it's the first one I got and it works, okay? So make sure that you've got a timer. It's always great to have a buddy along so you can be safe. I cannot stress enough, be safe. Have fun, be safe. Be safe, have fun. It's no fun somebody gets hurt. So don't do stupid things. Stupid things don't really work at the range, and I will never condone that. So be careful, have a good time, but be safe. Please. Did I say that enough? Did I say be safe enough? Please be safe. Let's have fun with this, but I don't want anybody coming back and giving me any horror stories. Okay? All right, so before we get into this week's lesson, I have a cheat sheet that I want to go through here. I want to give you a quick rundown of what it's like to shoot the FBI qual and what the expectations are of the different steps of this drill, okay? The FBI starts at 3 yards and moves all the way back to 25 yards. I've got a cheat sheet that I take with me to the range just so I don't forget something or do something stupid, because I don't remember well. So, have something like this. Go Google FBI qualification drill. You will come up with something along this line. Print it out, take it with you. have your buddy that is going with you understand what it is that you're doing so that you don't have to sit here and Google stuff from the range, because that's always a pain. And I want you taking video of this if you can. That would be really cool if you post some video of yourself out on the range, okay? So start at 3 yards. The very first part of this drill at 3 yards is the one-handed manipulation of the gun, and you've got to transfer the gun. So you're going to see here in a little bit why this week's lesson is the way it is. But the first one is with a 6-second par time on your par timer, right? I've got this already set at 6 seconds. You're going to press out at the first beep. You're going to pull the trigger 3 times, and then you got to switch hands and pull the trigger 3 more times, and you only got 6 seconds. So here's kind of what it looks like dry. Something along those lines. I did it kind of fast because I had no recoil, okay? You're going to work on that specific thing this week, and it'll be fine, okay? I just want you to get your head wrapped around that. That's at 3 yards. 6 shots, you got 6 points in, you're already good to go. You're going to back up to 5 yards now, and now you've got 3 different things that you're going to do. You're going to start with a 3-second par time on your trusty timer, and you got to draw and put 3 shots into that target in 3 seconds. Not terrible hard. 5 yards should be easy enough to pick up. Get a good quick draw, find your sights, pull the trigger 3 times. Make sure you get good trigger presses. Make sure you got your grip the way that you want it. All of the stuff we've worked on. Don't forget the drills, and don't forget the work that we've done. We did this to get you ready for this, okay? Now, you don't even have to put your gun away. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to put your gun away. So now you're going to start from the ready. You're going to do 3 rounds in 2 seconds. Okay, that feels sporty, but I'm going to show you here in just a second. And then also from the ready, 6 rounds in 4 seconds. So from the ready can mean a few different things, and there's several people teach different things. I know like 2 ways that I kind of prefer, and I know what I like best. But if you've got a from ready drill that you like or position that you like, knock yourself out. I don't care. But the 2 ways that are probably the most popular, at least from what I've seen, is kind of a high ready, so high compressed ready. So up here at the chest, you're pretty much married up, and at the beep, you're going to press out and do your thing. Okay. That's a piece of cake. That's a lot of people really like that. The one that I prefer personally is the low ready. So I am out here. I'm basically aiming the gun at the base of the target or the base of the cardboard of the target, depending on how far away I am from this thing, but I'm aiming it low. The reason I prefer this one is I shoot a dot. From here, I can get that dot in my peripheral, and I pull up and I already have my dot, and I have no issue knowing where my dot is. From here, I still have to find my dot, and if I've jacked up my grip or something along those lines, it's just easier. I'm a human. I'm not perfect at this either. I'm working through this just like everybody else. So I prefer here. So at the beep, you're going to boom, and you're going to pull your trigger the correct amount of times for the drill. Okay? So that's 5 yards. We're going to move back to 7, and now we're going to do from the draw 5 shots in 5 seconds. So again, this is where the par timer comes in. You're going to get this here in just a minute when I share the drills with you for this week. Now comes the fun one. At 7 yards, you got to do a reload. Now you're going to set a par timer at 8 seconds. And 8 seconds is a little sporty when you start thinking about you're going to start from that low ready or your high compressed ready, however you prefer. You're going to press out. You're going to pull the trigger 4 times. Now you have to reload and pull the trigger 4 more times, okay? So the way that you'll want to set your gun up is put 3 in the magazine with 1 in the chamber as you start this drill. Again, you're starting from the high ready, so put 3 in the magazine, because what you'd really like is pull the trigger 4 times and then you're locked back. Then you do your reload, reset your trigger, go right back to work. You've got 8 seconds. From the test group that we did, this is where they struggled a little. We did not practice this enough. Which is why you'll see the lesson we've adjusted just a little bit from the practice group. But this is what happened was we pushed out, we got the reload, and maybe we got 1, maybe we got 2. So we were dropping a couple here there. You do not drop all 8 points if you don't get all 8 shots off in time. You drop off what you missed. So let's say that you start it, you get 4 shots off, you reload, and you only get 2 more off. You only drop 2 points. You did not drop the total 8. So make sure that you're following along that way, okay? So don't think that you're going to lose all 8. You're going to get as many as you can, okay? And if the reload is easy for you, you're going to get all 8. It's going to be great, okay? So that is our 7-yard drills. Now you're gonna back up. Now we're gonna add distance. We're also gonna add a little bit of time, okay? So at 15 yards, okay, you're gonna draw, you're gonna fire 3 rounds with a par time of 6 seconds. 6 seconds, again, is a pretty fair amount of time, right? Six seconds, okay? 3 shots in that amount of time. Where another hint that I'll give you where the test group struggled a little bit was we got under that time constraint, and it was, I mean, they got out there, they went to work just fast, and you know, they would pull the trigger the 3 times, and then they'd have 4 seconds of dead air, and we missed 2. Okay, so make sure you're finding that sight. Okay, so it's a 1.5 second, 2 second draw, and then you've got 4 seconds to pull the trigger 3 times. Work your recoil, do all of the stuff that you worked on this week. Trust that it's going to get you there. Okay, because it will. All right, now from the ready, you just take a second off because you don't have the draw anymore, and you do 3 more shots at 15 yards. That's the 15-yard portion of this. Now we're going to back up again to 25 yards. That's 2.5 first downs. If you're a football fan or not, I guess. But 2.5 first downs is 25 yards. That's a long old ways, but not terrible long. And this one is a little bit different. So start with 8 rounds in the magazine, or 8 rounds in the gun. I'm sorry, 7 in the magazine, 1 in the chamber. And what you're gonna do is you are gonna draw, press out, pull that trigger 4 times, and then you're gonna take a knee. So drop to a knee, no reloads, no nothing. You still have 4 in the gun, and you're gonna put 4 more into it. Now here's the thing. That sounds like a lot of stuff to do. You have 20 seconds to do it. If you set a timer for 20 seconds and really get a feel for how much time that is, you're gonna notice it's plenty of time to get these shots. All you're changing is the elevation of the gun and your body, and then you're just shooting those shots. Press out, get good, clean shots, and make sure you take the time to do it. Again, with the test group where we found challenges, they all shot it very well. I don't know that anybody dropped maybe more than 2 at the 20 yards, but what they didn't do was take their time to get all the shots in 20 seconds. Everybody, I think the slowest one was done in 13. Most of them were done in 9 or 10 seconds. So they basically cut their time in half. Which, you know, if you've got the shot and take the shot, that's great. But if you're, you know, if you want to get a really good score on this thing, take that time. And sometimes I think where people can really help themselves is pressing out and counting. 1 Chicago, 2 Chicago, 3 Chicago, 4 Chicago, 5 Chicago. That kind of thing. That will set that time in your brain and let you know how much time you had. You'll notice when I share the video, what I did with some of these guys is I told them at 10 seconds, I'm just going to reach out and tap you on the shoulder because I was standing behind them with my timer. And so most of them were already done by the time I tapped them on the shoulder. They had taken a knee at about 5 seconds. So anyway, so that is the FBI qualification. That's what you've got to do. Not that much shooting. This should, you know, this is the mantra that I say since I've done this and since I've learned a whole lot about shooting in the last few years. This is not a difficult drill. This should be a breath test. If you're carrying a gun every day and you can't do this at least to 80%, I mean, you got to hit 40 out of 50 shots. You're not practicing enough. And I mean, if you're going to take it life seriously enough to carry a gun on a daily basis, why would you not practice so that you can use it if the day ever comes you need it? The answer is whoopee. Go search John's videos and talk about whoopee. But anyway, let's do this right. Okay, this week's drill, I actually printed it out so that I can help us get through this more quickly, okay? You're going to start and end with a benchmark, okay? Day 1, start with a benchmark. Day 5, finish with a benchmark. And hopefully you have tracked your scores through that. Be a great opportunity to pop into the Active Self-Protection or the Ask Dry Fire Challenge Facebook page and share that stuff. And so you can share with others how you've done. You're going to see in that group, it's been a really good group. People have really helped each other out. You're going to see that everybody's scores are going in the right direction. It's pretty fun to watch. It's pretty fun for me to watch, and it helps hold me accountable for me to practice as well, okay? Now, let's get into the actual lesson. So that's just the measurement of where you're at. The lesson is with your par timer. So get your timer out of whatever, whether it's on your cell phone, whether it's a stopwatch, whether it's an actual timer. Set a par time for 5 seconds. And what I want you to practice is pressing out and getting a trigger pull, 5 trigger pulls in 5 seconds. What I want you to do is I want you to do that 5 times. And what that's gonna look like is from the draw, I had to reset my trigger. From that draw, you're gonna just press out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And try to get the cadence down so that you know what that feels like. Now, you're not gonna have a recoil, you're not fighting any of that kind of stuff. So you're gonna be able to go really, really fast. And you may have just a squishy trigger, or you may have a dead trigger. It depends on what your gun is. If you've got a double action, then you're gonna get 5 clicks. But just get a feel for what that is, okay? You're gonna do 5 reps of that. And then what I want you to do, I got to reset my trigger again. Then what I want you to do is I want you to work on that transition part, because I don't want anybody out there dropping a gun. Let's work on that a little bit, okay? So what that's gonna look like, I already showed you this once. You're gonna press out. That's it, okay? Now I did that quick, so I'm trying to get a video done, right? You do it and get a feel for that. Do 5 reps of that. Get a good understanding of what you've got going on there, so that when the day comes, you can go perform on the range. Then the last drill that you're gonna do each day, again, this is 10 minutes a day, 5 days this week. The last drill you're gonna do is you're gonna start from a low ready, you're gonna press out, and I want you to pull the trigger 4 times, and then I want you to work on a reload. So put your extra mag in your pocket. If you've got a mag pouch, great. One thing I'll tell you is have it so that the bullet is pointed forward in your pocket. So when you come out, you can just go like that and get it in, okay? I am not a master of reloads in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I have been getting a little bit of help from my buddy Tim Heron, sent me some videos. You guys want to see some stuff, go watch that guy. Holy smokes, he's quick. Anyway, work on those reloads. So press out, get 4, reload, pull the trigger 4 more times, okay? I understand you have 8 seconds to do that. And again, that's where we struggled a little bit with the test group. So that's why we're gonna do that 10 times on day 1. Then on days 2, 3, and 4, when you don't have the benchmark at the beginning, do it 15 times. Just work on reloads 15 times, press out, get your stuff. It's gonna help, okay? That is it. And then when you're done, you got your 10 minutes a day, you'll pull the trigger, I don't know, another 150 some odd times this week. It's a way less about the trigger pull now than it is the manipulation of the gun. We're transferring a live gun in our hands. You're gonna be working from a holster with a live gun. This is, again, Neil, coming back to safety. When you are putting that gun in the holster, if you're doing it, if you're a appendix guy like I am, you see me, my shoulders always go back. I'm always looking this thing into the holster. Don't be that guy that has an accident. If you're a strong side guy, again, what we do is we step our foot in, and I know you can't see this, but I step my foot in and I kick that hip out and I look it in. One of the coolest things that I've learned, I don't even know who came up with this, so if I could give credit, I would, but I do the claw grip thing. If I come back and I put my thumb on my pectoral right here, and I keep my thumb touching my body as it slides down, and then I go into the holster, there is no way I can point that gun at myself with my thumb touching my body. Whether it's here going down the side, I can't point the gun at myself. Do that right. Pay attention. So as you're practicing this week, pay attention to good holsters. You get that guy that gets out here, and man, I wish I had a better camera angle, but you got your feet about this wide, and they do their shooting, and then they slam that thing right back in, and they've pointed it right down their leg. John just posted an article today of a guy that on the Facebook page that has a gunshot right down the side of his leg. I think on his it was at least just his pants, but for crying out loud, let's be careful. There is no rush back into the holster. Shouldn't be a rush when you're live, and there is no reason for there to be a rush when you're doing your dry fire. So again, follow the safety. All right, folks. So again, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. It's been a blast for me. I don't get in front of the camera a ton, but I really enjoy this. I've enjoyed the comments. Thank you for being kind. The fat jokes have been to a minimum, and my belly has not. So I really appreciate that. It's been fun to see you guys be positive and professional about this. It's fun to hear from friends that I know already, and it's fun to have made some new friends through this. I've just had a blast. I want to thank Mantis for sponsoring this and helping us bring this to you guys. Again, guys, I know not everybody has one, and not everybody has the budget for one right now, but man, save a little bit of money and get one of these things. They are a big difference maker. The new, X2 is out now. That's dry fire only, $99. Come on. that should be in the ballpark. You spend more on ammo, and you don't go to the range as much as you'd like to anyway. So save the money, buy the Mantis, and do the work. Get in the groups, have some fun with us. We have a lot of fun. There's always somebody posting something new and weird. There's some new stuff that's coming up here. We're gonna do a few more drills along this kind of line, some time frame stuff to improve on this drill or that drill or whatever. If you have a Mantis, it's more fun to follow along. You got some stuff you can post on the Facebook. There's some accountability with that as well. So again, I want to thank those guys for putting this on. They are great guys. It's a great company, and they're out to help people get better and help the world. If you don't know those guys, they're pretty amazing dudes. So some of my favorite people. I want to thank John for letting me do this and run these videos. I've had a lot of fun. Hopefully I'm better this week on camera than I was on week one. The ums and the ahs and the ands, they're still there. I suck at this, but I have a lot of fun doing it, and I want to thank everybody that's allowed me to do this, and I want to thank you guys for watching. This has been a blast for me, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks a lot.